This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
You know, when people like reach out and ask for help and it's something as simple as, hey, shipping her a box of tampons.
The one thing about this girl is she's never asked me for anything. She may have hinted about tampons.
It is the 22nd of February, 2023. My name is Corey Winfield, and this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Marnie is not here, but I do have some special friends joining me on Discord. I have one of them with me, Adam Brothers. Adam, how are you?
Hey, Corey. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great, man. It's been such a long time since I've talked to you. And the other friend I have on the phone, I haven't talked to him in hours. Justin Burke. Justin, how are you tonight?
Great. How are you doing, Corey?
Man, it's been so long. Like, I want to tell you all the things that have changed in my life, but I don't think we have time. But we have now, though. We have right now, and we can live in the moment and be in recovery. And on this phone call, I'd say there's quite a bit of recovery. I have 4 years. Adam, how much do you have? How much is your clean time?
So 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Justin has a little over 3.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, I'm like one of your guests. We all have 10 years in recovery, but not really. I'm still busting your balls on that one, though. That's good. How's your podcast going? I haven't listened to the last episode.
Things with the podcast are going well. This last episode, we had a sober recovery coach from Alpena on.
Oh.
And, yeah, her name's Jessica Brown. She was a great interview. And things are going really well.
Sweet. I'm glad things are going for you. And of course, I was on your podcast. People were probably like, that sucked.
No.
Yeah. Did you cut Jessica off at the 30-minute mark?
No.
Oh, the hell?
It ran to 32 minutes and some change.
What the hell, man? So you only cut me off?
I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't even think I told Justin about that. I was so upset.
Oh my God. I know. Bad skills on my part. I know.
Yeah, he had me on his podcast, Justin, and it's the Stone Soup Recovery Podcast, and I was like, sure, I'll be on there for you. So I dropped everything that I was doing. I was so busy that day, and I was like, Adam, I'll be on your podcast. And so Adam was like, all right, tell me your story, Corey. So I'm going into the story, and I'm talking about how, you know, I had abandonment issues, and it was crushing to me, and I was like getting to the point of how I finally turned the corner, and Adam's like, hey man, it's 30 minutes, bro, I gotta go.
No.
I was like, damn.
That is not how it happened, bro.
I was like, damn, I feel like I'm at a therapy appointment that I had to pay for. You just start getting stuff out, and they're like, well, you can come back next week. And I'm like, but you just opened Pandora's box. We need to close it. And I'm like, well, make sure you pay the $150 when you leave, and we'll see you next week. And I'm like, I don't have that. Which, hey, this is a serious note, though. You know how mental health is kind of a big thing, especially here in Michigan, and what happened at Michigan State. You know, it's just, people are like, why, what, who, what? And I was talking to this, I don't even remember who it was, but it was somebody like with some kind of importance. And we were talking about how if someone's on Medicaid, man, and it's a great thing that people can go get help when they need it. Now, you get a job, you get some insurance. Now, when you talk to your therapist, and Justin, you'll know about this because you can speak on it, you know, now you got to start paying out of pocket. Plus, They're taking money from your check. And when it comes down to, oh, I don't have that kind of insurance, it doesn't cover that. So it is $100 out of my pocket every week. People aren't going to go seek the help. They're going to feed their family. You know, they're going to figure other things out. And not every person who has, you know, mental health issues has addiction issues, you know, so you can't say, oh, well, they're just wanting to save that money so they could spend it on their drugs. You can't say that. And is it? Probably sometimes, sure. But at the same time, though, you know, you got somebody who's working all these hours, can't afford to take it off of work, but he still has mental health issues. You know, like, how are we helping that person? I don't know if we are. And
Yeah, that's a tough one. We're
you know,
not.
they can't get the help they need, and why not? But yet you see, oh, well, he's on Medicaid. Oh, he can get all the help he needs. To a certain extent, you know, it's a lot easier. You know, I'm not going to lie. It's a lot easier for people on Medicaid. I was on Medicaid. I get it. You know, I did need that help. But there was many, many years I was not on Medicaid. And I was paying them insurance prices and stuff like that. And, you know, that kind of situation happened to me when I was in Benton Harbor. And the crappy radio station there didn't really have that good of insurance. And I went to go talk to a therapist, and that was exactly what happened. I started like finally getting stuff out, and she's like, all right, time's up. And I was like, I'm sorry. And I think it was like $120 I had to pay. And she's like, come back next week. And I'm like, I can't pay you $120 every freaking week. Like it was very, very hard for me. You know, some people are fortunate and can, and hey, more power to them, but not a lot of people that are struggling that have the mental health issues can afford to do that. I'm preaching.
And it's very true. And,
No, it costs me $25 to go see the therapist.
But $25 isn't bad. But still, if you have a family of, well, you have a family, you know, that you're paying child support and stuff like that, you know, so $25. You know, that's gas for the week.
That's a tank of gas.
Yeah. And, you know, it adds up. And, you know, for the people like me who had to pay like $120, you know, it's like, whoa, like, didn't see that coming. I don't think I'm going to ever come back here. And that's exactly what happened to me. And then I kind of went off the rails, and my depression got even worse. And I had to end up going to Pine Rest in Grand Rapids, which is a really good place. But it was weird, and I didn't know, you know, at this time I was so stupid, or I'm sorry, uneducated, that I didn't think men could suffer from depression. I didn't. I thought, no, we just suck it up, man. That's what we do. It's, you know, depression. That's something that, you know,
it was one of those things that was never talked about when we were kids.
Yeah, just suck it up, man.
I'm glad we're talking about it now. You know, I have a kind of a unique point of view than maybe the two of you do, because I'm someone who is currently diagnosed bipolar 1, and I get Social Security and Medicaid, and I see the doctor, and I'm thankful for that Medicaid being in place for me, because I would be that guy that falls through the crack. I don't know what I would. That's a very good question. What do we do for that guy? My answer is I'm not sure. I know that there's help in place for people that need it, but then there's the small minority that just fall through the cracks. And, you know, unfortunately, those are the ones that suffer the most.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't just fall through the cracks. They lash out for whatever reason. You know, they're not healthy. And if somebody is, I don't know, if somebody falls out of a tree, I don't know. I'm really bad at analogies and examples, but I'm aware of that. So that's cool. But if somebody falls out of a tree, they're going to go to the doctor and they're going to get treated. You know, if somebody is detoxing, you know, somebody's withdrawing, they go to the hospital, they get sent home. You do this to yourself. Well, homeboy climbed the tree and fell out. He broke his arm. He's actually more dumb than I am. I was trying to, you know, feel better with, you know, self-medicating. You know, like that guy was just stupid. He was just climbing trees. I don't know. And if somebody were to, you know, go in for mental health, you know, and they don't have the proper insurance, you know, like I don't know what happens to them. I know one time when I was at Pine Rest, and this is like one of the shitty stories from the radio station in Benton Harbor, like I went back to Pine Rest, and that's when I was informed that they had canceled my insurance a week before. So like they had planned to terminate me because I had suffered from depression. And so they moved me from the unit that I was at to like a different unit for Medicaid people. And they're the ones who like got me on Medicaid. You know, they're like, here, I was like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. And what does that mean? And they're like, don't worry, we'll get you switched over, but you have to leave this facility now because this facility isn't for Medicaid people. And I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever, man. Which the other unit is probably where I should have been in the first place because it was dual diagnosis.
Right.
You know, and that was, you know.
Was there a big difference between the good insurance facility and the bad insurance, or I shouldn't say bad, but acceptable insurance?
It seemed like at the time, it seemed like there was more one-on-one care.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some people in there, you know, that still had the dual diagnosis thing, but they were more focused on, you know, your depression and how can you get out of that. And the other one was kind of a mix of both, of like, here's what drugs do to you, and here's, you know, and yes, alcohol is a drug. And so I was like, wait, what? It does what to my brain? And that's when I kind of started learning about that. And then things started making sense to me because before then, you know, and for the, I don't know, I'd say a few times after that, going to Pine Rest, like, I just thought I was weak or loser or just stupid.
Yeah.
You know, and I had heard so many times at that point, why can't you just stop drinking? That I was questioning myself, why can't I just stop drinking? And you start learning about the effects and what happens, and dopamine and serotonin and lasagna and ice cream and, you know, all of that stuff. Love, heartbreak, all of it. You know, you start learning how it all kind of plays a part. And it just started making sense to me, you know, to where I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not a bad guy, you know, and now I live a life where I'm in recovery, you know. If somebody wants to pull up some of my Facebook posts from 2013 or 2014, whatever, man,
Yeah.
a totally different person now. You can't really, I mean, you can judge me all you want on that, but the person I am today, you can't really judge me on that kind of stuff because I'm a totally different person. You know, I have goals, I have dreams, I'm achieving things that I never thought would even be possible. And some of that kind of makes me sad sometimes because I'm not really sad, but it just makes me think, oh, shucks. You know, like what could have been? You know, how good could I have been? But everything happens for a reason, and I'm good now doing exactly what God wants me to be doing. So, you know, all of it kind of plays into all of it has a role, you know, and so I don't spend too much time there, but I do kind of look back and go, damn, like if I wasn't like always hungover, you know, or just hurting, you know, like how good could I have been, you know? But I think I'm all right today, and that's all that matters. I have a beautiful wife and a bunch of cats, and I got friends doing podcasts with me late at night on a Wednesday.
I know.
Life is
Nice,
good.
man. It is good.
Very good.
I like what you talked about when you were talking about how it made you feel beaten down, and then how now in recovery things are different. You know, you don't feel that shame and that guilt over it. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Along with, from what I understand, along with the compulsion to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hope. That's the message right there in a bottle. It really is. And then that's not a pun. But there's hope. And there's hope that there's experiences that all three of us have gone through, life-changing experiences, where in the commonalities of our addiction, we've felt the same things at different times in different situations, but we've still felt them.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're experiencing the promises, we're experiencing the blessings of recovery. And I tell you what, man, I'm happy and I'm thankful, and I'm grateful for my recovery. I truly am.
You guys want to hear something that's going to make you go, oh, he did not. He did not just say that.
What?
What?
Are you ready? Because I said this the other night, and I got some looks like, did he just say that? I'm talking about step 1.
Oh.
So I was thinking the other day that I felt pretty powerful over my addiction.
And how do you feel about it today?
Pretty powerful.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
When you're in active addiction, you're powerless.
Yes.
You can't do nothing.
No. Active addiction, powerless. But today, now, I don't have a desire to drink. And again, that's today. Tomorrow's a whole nother day. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, I got a plan of where I'm going and things I'm doing, but like, I don't know. But right now, today, I had not one urge to drink. I had problems today. Didn't make me want to drink. You know, it's like, I feel like I'm in control. I'm the one that can decide, well, F it. I'm going to go get a drink today. I have that choice, you know, and by having that choice and by choosing not to, I feel like I'm pretty freaking powerful, man.
You do have power.
And when I said that the other day, people just looked at me like I had said, you know, aliens were real, which they are, by the way.
No, you should recognize your power. Each and everybody in recovery should recognize their power.
Because we do have power. But yeah, in our active addiction, no, absolutely not. And, you know, maybe some old school AA guys can break it down for me, and maybe they can say, well, that's why it's step 1, is because that's when someone's just entering the program, and that's when they have to realize at that moment they are weak and powerless. You know, they're powerless over their addiction. And yes, you can gain power, and maybe it's in a different step, and someone, like I said, can explain that to me or whatever, but like, maybe they don't have to explain it to me because I just said it, you know, like I feel powerful over that, you know, over the choices that I make today. Like I have that option, and it's such a great option to have, you know, to just choose not to do that. And I rarely think about drinking, very, very rarely. And I'm blessed on that. Now I know in 20 years, there'll still be a time when something will happen if I'm still alive, you know, like, you never know. I've seen too many people have a lot of years and lose it all and go down even harder. So I'm not going to ever get that cocky with it. But like today, right now, I feel pretty powerful. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys and get your take on it.
Compared to where I was at 3 years ago, I feel really powerful. I
Wow.
never thought I'd be where I'm at.
I believe we all need to recognize our power. And we all need to recognize the fact that there's a difference between when you're sitting at step 1, and that's where your life is, and when you find yourself at step 12, and that's where your life is. There's a big difference between the two. And it's humbling. The whole experience is humbling. But yes, we have power. We may arrive powerless, but we leave with power. And I believe that.
It's like getting a new router and realizing that your new router has 500, whatever them things are, and that it has over 500. You're just like, damn, it's 555 on the speed test. And then you realize that where you were going to put that router, it won't only use 300 of it. So then you're like, damn, like I might as well keep that router here where I can use it because it's faster and I have that option because I have the power. And I can take the old one, which still gets like 450, but that one doesn't get over 450. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Nah, I'm just rambling out at this point. But no, it was nice to know that I have a router that's pretty kick-ass.
Nice.
And the other router is pretty kick-ass too, but there's no point of keeping that here.
No, not when it's going to be bottlenecked at 300 megabits per second.
Man, something that I don't know if it made me drink, but it didn't piss me off. I was in Arkansas and I was calling up because like back then, like 100, whatever they're called, was a lot. And so the cable company, Cox, those cocks. They kept telling me, well, no, because I was like, man, I can't afford this. I'm going to drop it down, because it was like $200 a month or something. I was like, I need to drop that down. They're like, oh, you're really going to notice. You're going to notice. Oh, do you play video games? Do you watch movies online? I was like, yeah. This is like 2015, 2014. And all right, well, I'll keep it. Well, when I decided F that, I'm just going internetless and I'll just stream stuff from my phone to my TV. I called them like canceling. They're like, oh, you sure you don't? I'm like, yep, not going to do that. And then the lady told me that, oh, well, the modem you have only gets like 18 whatevers. I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean it only gets 18? She's like, well, you're paying way too much. Like, you have speed of to 100, but you're only getting 18 because that's all your modem can handle. And I was like, wait, you can see that? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, you MFers. Like, hell no, I'm definitely not staying with you now. Like, all the money I wasted.
Wow.
Yeah. That could make somebody drink, man. It didn't. I don't think at the time. Maybe it did. Who knows? I was a hot mess, but I was bitter. Yeah. So just know that. So before you go out and that's another thing, like I buy my own routers because you can rent them for $8 a month, but you do the math on that and you can buy your own for like 50, and sometimes they'll switch it out to where they're like, that one's uncompatible with our service now. I think Xfinity and Comcast are really good at that. You have to buy our modems. Like, no, you have to buy our routers. And sometimes they'll give you the modem for free, which, okay, cool. But I had some 2-in-1s. It was a modem router combo. And then all of a sudden it just stopped working. They're like, yeah, we made that. It was not compatible with our stuff anymore. I was like, you assholes. Capitalism,
That's
baby.
harsh.
You gotta love it, right?
All about the money.
It is. So we should do a mental health march. Do they have one of those?
Mhm.
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do.
We should have one, just us three. And see,
Walk across the bridge.
yeah, see how much publicity we get.
I'll do it. I'm down.
We'll do it.
Yeah, I'm down. That'd be funny.
We'll do it naked.
No,
No.
Why?
I'm good.
We won't get arrested.
I don't want to see Justin naked.
Oh, no, well, yeah. I mean, probably. I mean, our ladies love us, right?
Yeah.
We should let the public see what we put them through getting out of the shower.
Oh my goodness.
That's wrong.
Yeah. Like, hey. I don't know. Yeah, okay. So we won't do it naked, but we should maybe look into that though. Some kind of like mental health thing, because if somebody's having some issues, man, I just really hope that we have a world, or at least the state of Michigan. Let's just start here, like let's just start small and other people can kind of catch on and see what we're doing. But it really needs to be a thing, man. And people wonder why all this crazy stuff's happening. Oh, what's the motive, or this and that, and it's like, well, sometimes people don't need a motive. Sometimes like they're just not well and they don't have access to that. Now, I don't know the story, the whole thing about the Michigan State thing, but it just seems like it happens way too much. And if you really added up all the shootings and all the stuff and stabbings and beatings that go on and just craziness, like there's a lot of it, man. And it's just, people should have access to that kind of care. It really needs to kind of get to that point. And people can say, and they love to say, well, take the guns away. And okay, well then they drive people over in their car. We're going to take cars away. Like, how about we fix them? How about we help them? Stop trying to take things away. And how about we start giving?
I like that. I like that a lot.
For sure.
Thanks. But we'll come up with something. We have the recovery center opening. You got to come check it out, Adam.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, that's a cool spot.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
not, it doesn't have the gym and the place for the band to set up and the pizza parlor or anything, but it's an office and you got to start somewhere. So I think we kind of talked about that before, and I'm not scared anymore. I think like, okay, now that I actually, like next week we're going to be in there officially, and in April we're going to open it up, to the public, and I'm more excited now than I was before. And it's like, you can be scared, you can be worried, but that's not going to get me anywhere. It's time to start doing. And I think the recovery community here is pretty good, man, in Traverse City. And there's a lot of cool people around, and there's a lot of great ideas. And I think we could use that as a hub to start coming up with those ideas and plan some things out, and help some people in early recovery along the way. So I
think that's amazing.
Pretty excited. And you can have you over, and we'll plan our little march of some kind. And I'll use my pole. I don't know if I have pole, but the Traverse City Human Rights Commission, I'll bring that up, because we met before the Michigan State thing happened. And not that the Michigan State thing like is the tipping thing, but it's just something that it is local to a point. And that's the first time I really kind of stopped and thought about it. It's like those, because then I relate it back to my experience. Like you said, Adam, if you weren't on Medicaid, if you weren't getting the support, you'd be looked over. And then who would you be? Like, where would you be mentally? Like, you definitely wouldn't be well.
No, I'd be drinking, because that's what I did to self-medicate. I would go off the meds for a while, thinking I don't need them, and then I would find myself drinking before too long. If I didn't have that help at all from Medicaid, I'm not saying that I would relapse, but I'm saying that it would be very difficult in my mind. It would be. Things would become very difficult for me, and I don't know what I would do without the help.
And it always blows my mind when because like, okay, let's break it down. Because earlier you had said it's all about the money. I don't think you were talking about this, but
no.
It kind of, everything is always, it's about the money, Who would lose money? Insurance companies? If anybody could just go to a therapist and get help. So the insurance company will lose money?
Yeah, you've got a lot of middlemen.
Oh, darn.
Canada's different. Canada has free medical.
Yeah, and then some people are like, yeah, and that's why you got to wait 18 hours at the hospital. I don't think you have to wait 18 hours at the hospital.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But
it's better than the system.
Right. Do they have mass shootings in Canada? Because, maybe somebody can wait a few hours at the hospital if that eliminates that, But if people could just go get the help they needed for free, what does that do? That what? Increases the demand for therapists? So more people are making more money helping people? So you're creating more jobs. And some people say, well, yeah, but those jobs aren't going to pay like they did before because, we're talking about state funded stuff. But like, okay, let's talk about state funded stuff. Let's talk about the sin tax. Let's talk about that $300-400 million. Where's it going? It's not fixing the roads. It's not making the schools better. Where's it going? Like if we actually held people accountable at the state level, and our politicians, like hold them accountable. Like that's what we have to start doing. Where's the money? Where's it going? Like I'm applying for stuff and they're like, we want to see record of your profit loss, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, like there's really no profit. So it's kind of hard to show you that. And they're like, well, where's your income? I'm like, I don't know. We don't really have none, but if I was given like $400 million, or the money that we are given in grants, it's like, sure. Okay, cool. Yeah. We'll be accountable for that. Absolutely. Why can't the state, like they're responsible for tons of money, and then the federal government gives the money back to them, and it's like, well, where's that going? Well, let's form a committee of all my friends, and we'll talk about how we're going to spend all this free money. Okay, well, let's really talk about it then. Let's track it down. Where did it go? When COVID hit around Traverse City, I was pissed because there's a company around here called Network Northwest. And I was like, wait, hey, you just give that to every barbershop in town. That's cool and all, but here's what we're doing. We're actually we're getting calls from treatment centers saying, hey, this guy has COVID. He needs to go home.
Wow.
I went and got him. Dude's in my back seat, ladies in the back seat with COVID. And here I am driving from Detroit, driving from Pontiac to Traverse City to take these people home. And I was like, this is what we do during COVID. And we got passed over again. And that's when I lost my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? And then I started tracking. I started asking questions. I was like, well, I want a list of the people that, did. And oh yeah. And it was like, like those places that you'd be like, okay, are you kidding me? Like
it was a nail salon, wasn't it?
Oh, a couple of those, and just stuff like that, like a karate shop or something, or I don't know, it was something like did really? I was like, okay, because they needed it, right? Maybe they did, but it seemed to me like it was like, hey, we know that guy. Hey, went to school with him. Like, let's give him some money. Let's give these people some money. Anybody else got anybody they know? Let's give them the money. That's what it felt like. And from not being here and not knowing those people, but yet trying to reach out to tell them and explain what I do and then still get looked over, not even given $10, man. That'd have been like, hey, man, that's better than nothing. No, didn't get nothing. And they were like giving them all like the 20, 25 grand or whatever it was. And I'm just like, are you kidding? Like, wow. Yeah. And so I reached and they were like, oh, well, we're told by the state that there's like a grading thing that we have to do and there's a score. And I'm like, okay, what was our number? Oh, well, you'll have to talk to the state. So I reach out to the state and the state's like, that's bullshit. Like, no, we gave them the money and then they give it away. Whatever scoring system they have is their scoring system, not ours. So I reached back. I'm like, all right, well, they said that there's no scoring system. Oh, and they went ghost. And then, I don't know, the wind blew a different direction and I got sidetracked. But yeah, it was kind of interesting getting the runaround from those people. But like, for real, like we need to start holding those people accountable because, hey, if somebody gave me a bunch of money and said, hey, hand this out, would I look out for my friends? Probably. So I don't blame those people for doing that. But at the same time, I kind of do, and it's really not their fault. It's whoever gave them the money's fault. They're the ones who need to be tracking those people down going, hey, you can't just give these to your friends. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't give all this money to a balloon company, like,
right.
Like we're trying to give this money to people that are actually helping people right now with the COVIDs and stuff like that. But until we start hounding people and start demanding that we know what happened to that money, and who's holding them accountable. Like you're giving the money away. Okay, well, how are you holding them accountable? Anyway, that's just my thoughts on on a Wednesday. I almost said Thursday. I don't know what day it is, man.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, but tomorrow's Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Just call me Captain Obvious. No, but guys, I appreciate it. And thanks for hanging on there with me as I upgraded my internet there.
That's awesome.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
Yeah, before we started the podcast, like I threw it up there like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then I was like, hey, Adam, let's do a podcast. And he's like, sure. And then he's like, give me 15 minutes. I'm like, 15 minutes, that's enough to put a new router in, which it wasn't. But then I see Justin jumped on, which was cool. It was cool to have you on as well, Justin. And yeah, to wait for me that long. So thank you.
No problem.
Well, unless you guys have any other last advice, parting words.
There is hope. There's hope, and you're proof of it. We all.
As long as you have a little bit of faith.
A little bit of faith. There's hope. There's hope in recovery.
I like that, guys. That's a good way to end the podcast.
I love social media.
Okay. I think that's an even better way. I love social media. We're on Facebook. Stone Soup Recovery Podcast is on Facebook. Are you on Twitter? I know you're on YouTube.
No, we're on Twitter and Facebook.
Are you on the gram? You gramming?
Nope, not gramming.
All right. Well, 217's gramming. 217's. We're not on TikTok though. I don't think it's from China and they steal all your info.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
I don't think Stone Soup will be TikToking either.
Yeah, I don't have time for all that, man. Justin.
Time for that.
Yeah, there you go. Unless Justin has time one day to set up our TikTok. He told me like 2 years ago, we need a TikTok. I was like, I don't have time for that.
You could post your funny little comedy skits.
Yeah. But I don't get no money for it, so.
Oh, you do after so many viewers.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, nobody wants to see my old white ass doing funny stuff. I don't know. They can get the DVD when it comes out one day. But, well, guys, thanks a lot. And, 217recovery.com. If you want to know more, Justin's on there. You can see a picture of Justin's face. And email Justin. His email's on there as well. But yeah, check us out online. Get the app. It's free. The App Store and the Google Play Store. But Justin, Adam, thank you so much for joining me. And you guys have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. We hope you come back for our next episode.